Everyone, so today we're doing this video about what is the most violent religion in the world. Now, this is the source we're gonna use it. It's called War and Peace in Islam. They use uses and abuses of jihad. And so this video was inspired by this guy. I mean, this is not my idea, but and I mean, I already knew the answer, to be honest. But when I started doing the research, I come up with this guy, on YouTube. I come across his video, and he did the same topic. He went through the same source and all that. He's a guy from United Kingdom. Okay, if you go give him a subscribe, and you can watch whatever he says and all that. I'm sure people gonna say, well, this is bias and all that, because this is written by Ghazi bin Muhammad and Ibrahim Khalil and Professor Muhammad Hashim Kamali. Okay, well, those are the guys who wrote it. You're gonna say bias, but that's just Western supremacy. If something is not written by some guy from the West, it's supposed it's gonna be biased. But I know with the response. It's so predictable. The comment and the reaction to it's really fascinating, because at least come up with something new. You're like, we know what you're gonna say, but yeah. So this is the chapter we're gonna cover today. It's called Body Count, Comparative Quantitative Study of Mass Killings in History. Okay, so this is the chapter. The chapter it goes into an introduction, talks about the clash of civilization. There's the history as driven not only by impersonal material structure, territory, capital, population, etc. Oftentimes the reinstatement of religion. Oh, okay, we don't care about that. So the objective, the present study attempts to quantify the human death toll of religious and political violence throughout the last 2 millennia, and relate these religio-cultural civilization, adopting a modified version of Huntington civilization taxonomy. He talks about the clash of civilization. So the study progressed along the following line. First, a comprehensive data list of 3,000 violent clashes in history between 0 and 2008 CE was developed, when the proceeded to identify 267 76 76 of the most violent conflict in history, all with estimated human death toll over 10,000. One thing I want to mention is that for the in the past, it's very hard to kind of like have accurate number and all that. So we know some of the numbers are exaggerated. So that's something. I would criticize anything, but so I ranked them by death toll. The results was then organized along civilizational line in order to attain a comparative understanding of socio-religiously conditioned violence. So the findings are represented in four tables leading to a comparative. Okay, so the methodology. So we have the major violent conflict in the last 2 millennia, incorporating four category violence, namely war, civil war, democide, and structural violence. So the study then proceeds to quantify the death toll. We know that. Okay. So how do they come up with this civilization? The social construct of civilization denotes the historically conditioned and subjectively shared norms. This is very academic type of language and all that. So it's not that it's bad, it's just had to go through each step by defining each. So for example, they have to define war. It says a large scale act of aggression and violence between two different but equal political units, etc. Then they define civil war, which is a systematic acts of violence perpetuated mutually by members of the same nation. Democide, it is meant to convey politically motivated murder by government, forces, or institution. And then you have genocide, like the one we have right now, is a form of democide where the aggressors aim to eliminate or a substantial portion of an ethnic, linguistic, or religious group from a substantial territory, just like what you're doing in. Structural violence is as opposed to direct violence, direct physical harm. Structural violence is a concept promoted by Scandinavian peace research to denote the violence perpetuated by malign structure. Okay, and then it goes into word civilization. As you can see, it's very comprehensive. It's very long. This is a book. This is not an article. Okay, so that's why you see a lot of details. But it's quite important to actually understand how they come up with the study, because it's also something that makes something either, because you can lie with statistic. But anyway, this is the civilization they come up with: anti-atheist, local communist bloc, Buddhist, East Asia, part of Southeast Asia, Christian, Europe, the Americas, part of Africa. So this, they give you the civilization, they give you the geographical location. Indic, so this is happening in India, Nepal, Mauritius, and Islamic, Middle East, part of Asia, part of Africa. Primal, indigenous, parts of Africa, the Americas before colonialism, and Sinai. This is China and some neighboring states. So it starts from the most recent to the oldest one. So we have World War II, and it says 55 million people been killed, and so it gives you the lowest estimate and the highest estimate, and event type war and democide, and it gives you the civilization. So you have a bunch of Christians and Buddhist. So this one is, for example, People's Republic of China from 1949 to 1975, 45 million the lowest, and 77 million the highest, and it's a democide, and the civilization is anti-theist. I don't know why they have these two. This starts from 1939. It then went to 220. I don't quite understand why they did that. Extermination of Native American. I think they have. I think they classified them by. Now I understand. They classify them by the death toll. So some from the most violent, the highest death toll to the lowest. Now I understand. Anyway, where we were, World War One, 15 million. Second Sino-Japanese War, extermination of Native American, 13 million. God damn. Nationalist China, conquest of Timor of the Lame, Russian Civil War, conquest of Menelik, and you can see the number. I'm not gonna read all of that. Congo Free State, colonial war, Dongan Revolt, Second Congo War, Napoleonic Wars, China Mao Soviet, 30 Years War, Yellow Turban Rebellion, Korean War, Transatlantic Slave Trade, between 2 and 4 million people, structural violence and its Christians, Vietnam War, French Wars of Religion, Mahmud of Ghazni invasion of India, post-war expulsion, Cambodia, Khmer Rouge, North Korea, Afghan Civil War, Arab slave trade, between 1 million and 2 million, Chinese Civil War, Bengali War of Independence, Mexican Revolution, Shaka Conquest. And as you can see, it just goes on and on and on about all of them. I don't think I can read all of that. So we have Somali Civil War, a partition of India, Second Burundi Civil War, you have the French Revolution War, American Civil War, Caucasian War, French conquest of Algeria, I can pronounce that, Iraq under Saddam Hussein, Bangladesh liberation, First Congo War, La Violencia, Communist Vietnam, Haitian Revolution, you got Lebanese, you got like the Balkans, you got the Portuguese, you got the Eritrean, Ethiopian War. So you got all of that. It goes on and on and on. It's huge. I mean, the violence that plagued this earth is just indescribable. Like Like imagine some other species come to planet Earth and they see what we have done. It's really bad. Like look at all of that. I'm just scrolling because I just cannot read all of it. It's just too much. So it goes on and on and on and on. This is pages after page after page after page. Cameroon, we got Mexico, we got Indians. So anyway, this is what I'm interested in, and this is the final results. It says key finding and analysis. Table 2. Death toll of major violent conflict. Now we have the civilization, the minimal death toll, the maximum, and the median death toll. So anti-atheists, I think it's better to look at it that way in the on a graph. So the anti-atheists, 124 million people have been killed by atheists. Then you have the Buddhists. Buddhists have killed 87 million people. Christian, as you can see, is the highest the death toll. It's 178 million people have been killed in the name of Christianity. Indic, 2 million people. Islamic, 31 million. Primal indigenous civilization, 45 million. And the Sinaic, 107 million people killed, fatalities or whatever you want to call it. So as you can see, this is the results. I'm not gonna give my opinion. This is what the study have shown. You can decide what you think about it. You can look at it yourself. I can put the link in the description below. And this is what it is. You know, we have the Christians is the most uncivilized, savage, barbaric cult in this world. They killed more people. They killed more people than the Indic, the Islamic, the primal indigenous. All of them combined. And they can't even came close to the Christians. And then the atheists. Y'all talking about like all these atheists are they have like logic and reason. They killed 124. They're actually the second. You know, the second after the Christians. Anyway, I'm not gonna give my opinion, but you can make a whatever you want with that. But anyway, see you next time.